Hello guys, in this tutorial we're gonna learn how to work with properties in C Sharp. So properties are ways for C Sharp to automatically add setters and getters for you. A getter and a setter are basically two types of methods that we can use on our code. The goal behind using properties in C Sharp is to access data or to save values. Using the getters and the setters, we can access the attribute of those classes. So if you want to create property, the syntax of the property works like this. First, you need to specify the access modifier. Then you specify the type followed by the name of the property. After adding the name of the property, you need to place open and closed braces, same as creating a new function. A property can have two accessors, get and set. Using the property is very easy. That's why if you want to create a new property, all you need to do is to create a set and open and close braces, then write get and open and close braces. Make sure that you return the field that you are encapsulating in your get accessor. In the set accessor, we allocate the field using the keyword value. Using properties, we can secure data that we're gonna use in our code. Now let's see how properties work and let's create a new lolchamp class. This lolchamp class is very simple. We are making a new champ for League of Legends. Every champ needs a name, a role, and a cost. So this is the template for a lol champ. And down here we have to create this constructor. On the next tutorial we're gonna learn how to make constructors and how to work with them. But for today let's focus on setters and getters. So this constructor is passing the name, role, and cost data. Now let's try to create a new program that uses the lolchamp class. In this program, we have two new LOL champs. The first one is Teemo and the second is Rengar. Every champ in League of Legends has a cost, depends on the champ role and abilities. For example, we can find expensive champs such as Senna, or we can find some others cheaper such as Teemo or Akali or even Sivir. The problem is, what if we want to enforce that our code accepts only those cost values? We can change the cost for 0, for example, and write it here in the console. Console.writeLine Teemo.cost. If we execute the code, only the cost will be printed, but 0 is not one of the values we already talked about here. What properties can give us in this situation is preventing this from happening. In order to use setters and getters in this code, we need to modify a couple of things. The first thing we need to do is to close the access to our variables. As you can see here, they are all public. A public name, a public role, and a public cost. Now let's try to change the access mode of our cost variable to private. This means only code inside this class can access to it. Now we're gonna create our setter and getter for our cost variable. After using setters and getters in a private variable, we can access it and change the values. Let's go back to our class and let's add a new property. First, we need to define the access mode. Let's define it as public. Then let's define the type, string. Then we give the property name and open and close braces. Now let's add a new setter and getter properties. Getter and setter. A getter will allow us to read data from the property, and a setter will allow us to assign values to the property. Now inside the getter, let's return the cost. Just type return cost and don't forget the semicolon. Now in the setup, we need to assign the variable name to the keyword value. Now we can make a conditional statement with if or switch to check if the cost of the champ we're gonna assign is already exist on the list, but I'm not going to do that because we are going to focus on the setters and getters in this tutorial. Now we have been over the basics, how to work, define and use properties. In the next course we're gonna learn how to work with the constructors in C#.